gave up the ghost. And when Jesus had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And having said thus, he gave up the ghost. I want to share just a few moments from this idea, this concept. Just look at someone and say the last word. The last word. New Birth, if you'll allow me to be transparent, this afternoon I stand here as a fifth generation PK. Any other PKs in the room today? I knew some of y'all had the Holy Ghost. I knew it. And I want to rebuke the rest of y'all that have been lying on us for so long, saying that we're the worst ones. That ain't true. That's a lie. Because everything bad I learned from the deacons' kids. They got keys to stuff, you understand? But as a fifth generation PK, I've spent my entire life in Holy Week, and if you'll allow me to be honest, I've often had a problem with the name Good Friday. Because as we examine this crime scene that has been described and detailed already, my question becomes, what exactly is good about Good Friday? What's good about betrayal? He's been kissed by a friend and then sold for silver. What's good about injustice? He's been tried in the middle of the night by kangaroo court and lied on, falsely accused. What's good about brutality? He's been whipped until the flesh hangs upon his bones, crown of thorns pressed into his skull. What's good about humiliation? Stripped naked, mocked publicly. What's good about abandonment? His disciples have ran, his friends have disappeared, and heaven has gone silent. And now he's hanging on this cross between these thieves, spikes in his wrists, spikes in his ankles, forced to pull the entirety of his weight upon those very spikes as they tear through nerves and tendons just to catch a breath. And as he struggles to breathe, I struggle to see what is so good about Good Friday. Because if you have listened, as these other voices have already shared their convictions about the crucified, this suffering servant has been speaking all day. He's told us, Father, forgive them, while they were still doing the thing he's forgiving them for. He has said, today you'll be with me in paradise, while dying next to a criminal. He has said, woman, behold thy son, making sure that his mother was covered. He's asked why he's been forsaken while feeling the weight of separation. He has expressed his thirst, demonstrating that he is both God and man. And he has now declared it is finished, completing or declaring the work of completion. But now we arrive at the final word. And after all of this pain, after all of this suffering, after all of the silence, notice that he does not curse God. No, he doesn't reject God. He doesn't question him. In fact, he chooses in his final word to trust him. And as terrible as this moment looks on the surface, what ultimately puts the good in Good Friday is that this is a picture of trust and not tragedy. And if we would look together for just a moment, I believe we would arrive at the same conclusion, because he begins this final word by saying, Father. Everybody in the sanctuary just say, Father. He dies in relationship. The first thing that I notice here is that what he calls God in this moment is significant. He does not call him Elohim, the creator. He does not call him Adonai, the Lord. He does not call him El Shaddai, the Almighty. He calls him Father, which shows us that even in suffering, he is still relational, which means for maybe about 50 of us in the room, it tells us that you can be in agony and still be in relationship. Yeah, that the cross does not break his theology. The pain does not change his language. The suffering does not sever the connection. And that's good news, because there are some of you in the room this afternoon that have been through some things that have been so painful that you've wondered, does God still know my name? Does he still hear me? Does he still see me? Do I still belong to him? But I came by to tell a praiser before we get out of here that they can crucify your comfort, but they cannot crucify your connection. To tell somebody, he's still my father. He's still looking out for me. And as we look further, he goes on to not only say father, but what does he say to the father? He says, into thy hands. The second thing that I want you to notice with me is the preposition that he uses. He does not say catch me. He does not say help me. He does not say I'm falling, I hope you're there. He says into. Into is intentional. Into has an address. Into means that I know exactly where I'm sending this. And I gotta pause here for a moment because there are some of us in here that have been dealing with pain without destination. You've been carrying grief for years and didn't know where to put it. You've been dragging trauma from one season to another season because you never found a safe place to release it. You've been holding hurt in your hand because you didn't have the right hand to give it to. But here it is. Jesus teaches us something revolutionary. He shows us that you don't just need something to release from. You need somewhere to release to. Ask your neighbor, say, neighbor, where do you take your problems? Where? Well, Jesus shows us. He says, I release my spirit into thy hands. Hands speak of control. Hands speak of authority. Hands speak of custody. And so he's showing us something about trust, and he's trusting the fact that he knows the hand that he is referring to. Ask your neighbor, say, neighbor, whose hands are they? Well, if you look close enough, you'll discover that these are the hands that scooped up dust and formed a man. These are the hands that parted the sea and held back the water. These are the hands that fed 5,000 with a little boy's 2-piece and some cheddar bay biscuits. These are the hands that if you keep on listening for just a few more days are going to show that they have stone rolling ability. But I'm here to tell somebody that he can surrender into these hands, because surrender is not weakness when you know whose hands you're in. Ask somebody close to you one more time. I'm out of time in just a moment. Ask them, say, whose hands are you in? Whose hands? Tell them, if you're not ashamed, tell them, say, I'm in his hands. I'm in his hands. In fact, I like the way Dr. Charles Hayes said it. He said, all in his hands. I put it all in his hands. All in his hands. I put it all in his hands. All of my burdens, problems. If I have a question, tell your neighbor, I put it all. That's the wrong neighbor. Don't talk to them no more till Easter. Tell them, say, yes, I put it all. I put it all in his hands. We got to get out of here in just a moment. But I love the fact that he said this and that. This and that. I put it all in his hands. Why don't you just take your hand and touch somebody next to you and tell them, say, put it all in his hands. No, you didn't say it right. Tell somebody, say, neighbor, 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 neighbor. No, you ain't do it yet. Tell them, say, neighbor, neighbor, neighbor. Say, put it all in his hands. Because the Bible says that not only does he say Father, and not only does he say into thy hands, but what does he do? He says, I commend my spirit, which means he dies with intention. And I'm getting ready to let you go today. You got to hear appointments for Sunday, but I want to let you know that the word commend here, it comes from a Greek word that means to make a deposit. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, make your deposit. In other words, it means to place something in a place of safekeeping. And this lets us know today that this is not accidental, but this is a transaction. He's making a deposit into the Father's account on Good Friday. But you know anything in the room today about going to your banking institution? If you made a deposit, that means you can make a withdrawal. Why don't you grab a neighbor by the hand and say, oh neighbor, say Good Friday
is about the deposits. But if you keep on reading, tell them a withdrawal's on the way. Because on Friday, they put a spirit in that was broken and bruised. And I can't give you all the details, but I just stopped by here to tell you that in just a few more days, a withdrawal's on the way. And the withdrawal is different than the deposit. They put a lamb in, but a lion is coming out. They put grave clothes in, but glorified clothes are coming out. They put a dead man in, but a testimony is coming out. That death could not hold me down. Y'all don't want to have no church. Y'all don't want to have no church. They don't want to have no church. But is there anybody that'll get some hand sanitizer and rub it in real good? And why don't you just lean over and grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, you're not helping me. Say, neighbor, I want you to know that it ain't over yet. Because on Good Friday, everybody had something to say about Jesus. The religious leaders said he saved others, but couldn't save himself. The crowd that shouted Hosanna said crucify him. Even death showed up and said it was over. But after all of that, after every other voice and after every other opinion, Jesus opened his mouth one last time, and it's the last word that always matters. And he decided to die. Didn't die. He died till the sun stopped shining. Didn't die. He died till the moon went down in blood. He died till the earth reeled and rocked like a drunk man. He died till the soldier said, surely that's the Son of God. But grab your neighbor and say, neighbor, he didn't just die, but he had one more word. And I want to let somebody know, the clock on the wall says that's all, but I just want to tell you that Jesus has the final say. The grave don't have it. Death don't have it. The diagnosis don't have it. The divorce don't have it. The bankruptcy don't have it. The betrayal don't have it. But God has the final say. Why don't you grab somebody and say, neighbor, because God has the final say. What you got to say? Tell them, say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. What you got to say? He was wounded for my transgressions, bruised for my iniquity. What you got to say? Weeping may endure for a night, crying may endure for a night, suffering may endure for a night, but joy, 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 come in the morning, get out of your seat and go touch 3 people and say, hold on, hang on a little while longer. It ain't over. It ain't over. Yeah. Tell another neighbor, say, neighbor, it ain't over. It ain't over. God got the last say. If I was at my church, they'd say it like this: living and love me, dying and save me, buried and carried my sinful way, but free me forever. And one day he's coming back. Glorious day. Ain't it all right? Ain't it all right? Hey, ain't it all right? Why don't you loose yourself? Open your mouth and give him glory. Give him praise. Give him honor. Give him worship. Go touch 3 people and say, God has the final say about your children, about your money, about your health, about your marriage, about your job. God.
If I couldn't say nothing, I'll just wave my hand. Come on, open up your mouth. You got to thank him right there.